Welcome back to the Hot Heel Girl podcast. We are back to another episode where we're just riffing off the
Chatting.
cuff, as Courtney likes to say.
We are riffing off the cuff. We're chatting. It's probably not going to be a super long episode, which is totally fine because I know our interviews are always longer. So it just
Mhm.
is nice and digestible for people to have this in between.
Yeah, and we hope that you loved the episode about mold that actually dropped today. Like as we're recording this, we
Mhm.
usually record on Fridays, but we're doing a Monday today, and that's when our episodes drop. So please let us know what you thought about that episode because we both loved it
It was so good.
and we're very excited for you guys to hear it. And then we have two more guests coming up, I think, so far that we have in
Yeah.
the
That we
works.
have planned. That we have planned. And
Um,
then one we need to reschedule, but it's just been chaotic.
yeah, and hopefully some other ones too. But yeah, today you just get to hear us
Yeah.
chatting
So as
away
always,
as
though,
we
let
do.
us know who you want to hear,
Yeah.
right? Because so far, everyone you've wanted to hear, we've gotten,
Hmm.
which is exciting.
Yeah. And then we also had somebody pitch themselves, and we're going to have her on too.
That's fun.
So if you want to be on our podcast, send us a pitch.
I just also, it's so fun to have these people on that we know or know through social media and just get to talk like more intimately with them on here.
Hmm.
I love a good conversation. And I
Yeah.
feel like I don't have enough people. We talk about it all the time. I don't have enough people in my freaking space in person that I talk to about stuff like this. So, like, this is just so good that we talk
Yeah.
about emotional health. We talk about, like, we're just talking about all the things. And
Hmm.
it's great. I was talking to someone yesterday who was raving about our doula episode again. And I was like, I know that one's such a good one.
Yeah, that was our first guest and she was awesome.
And all the
So,
things that we all need to know.
exactly. Yeah. If you're going to have a baby, planning on having a baby anytime ever, go listen to that episode.
It was really good.
It
Yeah,
was.
it's just fun. It's just, like I said, it's just fun because we have all these conversations and like they're all mind blowing because
Hmm.
everyone brings different perspectives about different things. I mean, we're talking about whatever they want to talk about pretty much, which is great, or whatever you guys want to hear about from them. So let us know who you want to hear from.
That's why I think podcasting is just so fun
Yeah.
because you just get to make all these connections and learn from these people that you never otherwise would have gotten. Well, obviously, unless you're going to pay to use their services,
Yeah.
which you obviously should anyway. But, having the podcast allows us to give you guys that information and it also allows us to learn as well.
I know. I
And
love
I
it. And
think
I'm
that's
like,
just so
also,
fun.
it's a great marketing tool for those people, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're someone who's coming out with a course or coming out with someone, like, it's a great marketing tool to be able to just talk about it to a
Exactly.
different audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
To
love
all
that.
the hot heeled girls out there.
Hey, we've had men on the podcast. You don't have to be a girl to be here. It's fine.
No, no, you can be hot heeled, whatever gender you want to be. We're all good.
Wasn't it? It was one of our freaking reviews that said, I'm not hot or healed. And I was like, or a girl. And I was like, okay, well, I feel like you're definitely one of them, I'm sure.
I think we probably did have have a review like that. I don't know.
I'm sure you're at least hot.
Was it Reed? I don't know. It could have been
It
Reed
could have been
leaving
Reed. It could have been Reed. That's the funny part about it.
that. Let me look
I'm
and see if
like,
that was his.
it's not that important. We can
No,
look
but
after.
I don't want to. I want to know now though.
It was like, I'm
It's
not
important to
hot,
me.
not healed, or a girl. And I was like, all right, well, you know, very, very interesting. But we love all of our
I
listeners,
think it was
whether
Dan.
that's not
I think it was
surprising.
Dan.
He
He's like,
probably
I'm
also
excited.
said,
I'm excited to tune in even if I'm not a hot girl.
you're not you're not a girl, you're hot though. Anywho, what do you want to talk about today?
I mean, we were chatting about numerology before this.
Yeah, I know nothing about numerology. Tell me all of it.
Well, we started with astrology signs because Courtney was talking about being a
It's
spicy
Aries
Leo.
season because it's March 20th, Aries season,
Yeah,
and
I
they're fiery.
I don't know when the astrology signs change except for mine and
I
the
don't even know
Leos.
when mine starts. I don't know when Leo starts. I know it's like the end of July because I'm the beginning of August, but that doesn't mean anything. End
Yeah,
of
I think
July.
it's very end of July or like very beginning of August. I don't
Actually, I
know.
know Capricorns are around December 23rd ish when they start, maybe a day or two around it, because Dan is a cusper. He's a Sag Capricorn cusp. Like he's right there, like a day or two. So I'm like, you're like real close.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, actually, like if you go by the new signs, I'm the new sign now. But
I've never
I'm
even
like,
looked up the new
that
signs.
doesn't exist to me.
Well,
I am a
yeah, also because you were
Sagittarius,
born
true and
before
true.
it. So like,
Yeah.
well, then we were talking about how there's like a whole, right? Some people only know their sun signs, but there is a whole landscape of signs, your moon sign, your rising sign, and all of the planets where they were when you were born. But because I don't hardcore resonate with being a Leo. I really don't. I never have because all the other Leos I meet are like the fieriest, loudest, and a lot of them quite obnoxious people I've ever met. No, I'm not talking about Reed. I'm not trying to offend Reed.
That describes him to a
No,
T
but
though.
it's like a lot of the Leos I know. And like, don't get me wrong, like I'm very chatty, but I definitely wouldn't put myself in like that schema just because like especially upon meeting people, usually I like sit back and like observe, you know? I like to observe people, feel it out before I'm like aggressive and stuff, which is totally fine. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. I've never really like hardcore felt like Leo was like a huge part of my personality. Like I see some of it obviously, but like so that's why I like resonate more with like I forget which rising and moon. One of them is the way you see yourself and the other one is the way like it's like what you transform into or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
know much about astrology.
I
That's the
don't
thing.
know. I looked up mine at one point, but I don't even remember what they are.
So your sun sign is the way the world sees you, which I
Right.
understand that.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure it's the moon sign is the way you see yourself, which like also makes sense, right? Because like people see us differently than we see ourselves. Like you're gonna laugh at me because Dan always laughs at me at this. Every time I take personality tests, I get introverted. Okay. Every time I take personality tests, because I'm like, when you think about extrovert versus introvert, like I get energy from being alone and like recharging that way. Like too many people. But he always laughs at me because he's like, "You're not an introvert," and I'm like, "Just because you're the most introverted person I've ever met doesn't make me not an introvert. Someone's
Yeah.
got to pull it out of him."
Yeah. I mean, I can see that like the way you project yourself, it is very extroverted, but I
Yeah.
can see you where you have the introverted tendencies for sure.
And that's where like those tests are always funny to me because I'm like, yeah, it's what I see myself as. That's why I'm
Hmm.
like, because I get energy from being by myself, but I also get how I project myself as extrovert. But I'm not around people 24/7, so like it's very different.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
It's like,
that's kind of like where we led into numerology because I'm like, I relate much more with numerology than I do with sun signs because almost all of like my numerology numbers that I've figured out, it's dead on accurate to a
mm,
T. And everyone else's that I've done as well, it's so accurate.
do you want to do mine?
Sure.
Not now, just like
I can do your, so there's different numbers, like obviously
okay,
as there is with astrology, but your main one is like your life path number, and that's your
I've heard
number
that.
that never changes. So that's when you add up your birthday, and that's
Okay.
like your life path. And then they have like personality number, attitude
And
number.
I know like certain years, like you have a this year, like this year could be like a 7 year for you or whatever. Like that's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And there, yeah, there's different years. I don't remember how to figure out that one, but but yeah, I can do your life path number. Um, I'm gonna use my calculator though.
That's
So
fine.
I'm not gonna do it in my head. September what?
August 2nd,
August 2nd.
8-2. So that's already a 10 right there.
Yeah.
Addition.
And
8-2,
95.
1995.
So basically, what you do for numerology is you add everything up until it
Mm-hmm.
comes to one number.
And
And
then you
so
take
when
the
I
number
add,
at the end.
yeah, so when I add all of yours up, it comes to 34. So you add the three and the four together. So you are a life path seven.
Okay.
Um,
What's your
with
life path number?
I'm a four. So
Okay.
technically, we're not compatible life path
That's
numbers.
fine.
But your attitude number might be compatible to mine.
That's so interesting.
Because Reed
Just
is
all of
a
it.
like Reed's a five, so technically
Okay.
we're not compatible. And my parents were a five and a seven, so like technically we were not compatible. But like you can't, your personality numbers can be compatible. And like I have a five birthday, and so that five is going to resonate with his five. And he has like an eight personality, so that's going to resonate. So like you're compatible. My compatible numbers would be 248. Your
Okay.
compatible numbers would be 157. And then it's 369 are the other set of compatible numbers.
Okay. So how do you figure out your personality number?
Um, personality.
I also
So
have a
you're,
question about adding.
yeah. So
I
let me
know
do
this
your,
sounds okay.
so your attitude number, which is the like the second strongest one,
Okay.
that's going to be your birthday day and month added together. So that would be, so you would have a one attitude. So your
Yeah, because
one,
it's 10.
yeah. So your
Yeah.
attitude and your life path are also compatible numbers. So you're like very
Hmm.
strong. And like one, they're like leadership attitudes. So that could be, like where you get your extroverted tendencies from.
Okay.
They're like leadership, they want to be like the best of the best. They want to be first in everything. Um,
Very competitive.
yeah.
This is true.
Yeah. And
But
as with everything, there's like the good and the bad energies
yeah.
to the sides of the numbers. So like eights, for example, eight is like the money number. So eights a lot of times either have a lot of money and they're really good with money, or they um, struggle with money and have a really hard time with it. So I think three, my attitude is an eight.
So what
So
do you resonate with?
I think now I'm on the flip side, but I used to be on the other side with like the money struggles.
You're changing that relationship with it.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
can. We
I
all
feel
can.
like in the past year, I have definitely
Flipped it.
very much so flipped my
Good.
money
I love
mindset.
that.
Yeah. Let me really quick double check how to do your personality because I
Okay.
forgot which one it is.
My question is about math.
Go for
So
it.
like you're in December, right? So do you
Mhm.
add the one and the two together or is it 12
Yeah.
plus 5? Okay.
I mean, you can add it either way. I think it comes out the same, but basically like every number together. So you're
Yeah.
just
So
like
like
one plus
I was
two
just
plus
making sure.
five plus one
Yes.
plus nine plus
Yes.
nine plus four. Yeah.
Got it. That's what I thought, but I was like, are we just taking the 12 and adding it to 5, which would be a 7, which is very different from 1
Mhm.
plus 2 plus 5, which is
Okay, so your personality is the numerology value of the consonants in your name.
ooh, I have a
So,
lot of consonants.
yeah, so you would be okay. So, pull out your calculator and I'll tell you what
Oh
to add.
my gosh. Well, is Y a consonant or a vowel? That's the tricky one.
I think
Sometimes Y.
it says it can be a vowel or a consonant depending on the adjacent letters. So let me
Sometimes Y
see.
has to make it so complicated.
Right? Like why? Why?
CRTN, maybe Y. Curtain. Wow. Who would have known if you just take out the vowels in my name, you can spell curtain.
Okay, so when the letter serves as a vowel and sounds like one, it is a vowel. So yours doesn't sound like a vowel.
I know.
No. Um, so yeah,
It
because it's the same
really,
as mine because I have a Y at the end of mine. And I was like, I don't
yeah.
think mine
I feel like,
qualifies as a vowel.
well, no, yours sounds like an E, like Emily. Courtney is different because it's EY. So I feel like it just is
Yeah,
silent.
because you have the consonant already, or the vowel already next to
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah.
okay. So 3,
3,
9,
9,
2,
2,
5,
5,
and 7.
7. So that's 26, and then 2 plus 6, that's an 8.
Yeah. So you have an 8 personality number. So you have like the money personality number.
Ooh, I'm gonna look up so much
So you
later.
have, um, yeah, the same personality number as my attitude number. It's super
Ooh.
interesting. The book that I really like is
I was just about to ask, tell the people the book.
yeah, I have to look up the exact name of it because I think it's just called, I don't remember the last name of her, of the author, but the first name is Glennis. And it's a really good book because it describes each number, like life path, attitude, personality. It goes over each number. And so it's really, really descriptive
Mm.
and describes everything really well. Let me see. Okay, so it's literally just called Glynis Has Your Number, and it's by Glynis McCants. But it's a
Okay.
really good book. I would 10 out of 10 recommend that book because if you like actually go read your life path number, like for me, I'm a 4. And so fours are very tend to be a little more introverted in general because we're very much homebodies. Like we love our home space. That's where we're the happiest. We
Mm.
like teaching people. We like learning. Um, we like just like taking care of people. And so a lot of times you see fours that are teachers, or I guess kind of something like what I do. It's
Mm-hmm.
like helping people out that way. Um, but yeah, every single aspect of the 4 life path I resonate with for
You resonate
sure.
with.
And it's just really, really interesting to read people's, like, I wish I had the book here. I don't think,
I know it's at your parents.
yeah, my parents have it. I did have it at one point, but I don't think I have it right now. But it would be fun to like just pull out your description and read it
Yeah,
to
I
you
was gonna
and
be like, when are you
see.
going to your parents? Are you gonna
Right.
send me pics?
I mean, I'm sure I could. Let me see if she has anything on her website because I want to see.
Yeah,
So you're a 7. My mom's a 7, and sevens are they're the most spiritual numbers.
I am very spiritual.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. I wrote it down so I can look it up later. I wrote 7 life path, 8, whatever that was. I wrote it next to it. And then the 1 was the other one.
Okay, she does have summaries on her website. Okay, here's 7. Sevens are a cerebral number. They do not want you to know exactly who they are and need their privacy. If you earn their trust, they will confide in you, but don't bother prying because it will get you nowhere. They are loners who seek truth and need to have a strong faith base that they can really embrace. If they do not have faith, they may become cynical, and some will actually escape through drugs, alcohol, work, geography, etc. They have a love of natural beauty, ocean, green grass, plants, flowers, etc. Being surrounded by nature gives them a strong sense of peace. Obviously, that's very basic, but she has
Oh
like
yeah.
a whole chapter on it. So it's just really interesting.
I laughed out loud. It doesn't, they don't want you to know who they are. And I was like, well, I feel called out. But I wouldn't
Yeah.
deny that at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so see, here's my snippet for 4. 4 seek security. Home is their haven. They are often intensely cerebral and need to find ways to calm their minds. They should avoid the tendency to overthink everything. Hi, it's me.
This sounds
Otherwise,
like
great ideas live and die in their heads and nothing actually gets done. The 4s like to be organized and to put things back in their proper place. If their home environment appears sloppy and unkempt, that is a sign that the 4 life path person is not doing well.
this also sounds like Dan. Dan is a 4. I just figured it out. I was like, that
Is
sounds
he?
like Dan. So that's why I had to add his right now. I was like, this is hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's not surprising.
that's funny. So, see, you are attracted to 4 energy.
Well, he and my best friend are also both Capricorns too. So they're just like, you're attracted to Capricorns. And I was like, leave me alone. You crazy. Bunch of crazies. But my best friend in high school and my high school boyfriend were both Aries. So, but they were very different. Like she really wasn't an Aries. You know what I mean? Like you look at that person and you're like, some people like kind of like she also was a cusper. So I really think that she resonated more with whatever comes after Aries. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's one of those. I'm like, you're not. Yeah, that was funny because you're literally saying that, and I was like, sounds like you. Also, 1,000,000% sounds like Dan. Can't shut that brain off. Only wants to be home. Like I'm going away for almost a week. It's like 6 days, and I was like, "What are you gonna do on the weekend?" And he's like, "Well, probably catch up on my shows that I don't watch when you're here." I was like, "That's what you're gonna do when I'm gone? Like, what about all the friends that we don't really hang out with?" And he's like, "Yeah, maybe if I finish." I was like, "Okay, you
It's
finish the show, you."
100% me. I was like, because Reed's like working every weekend and he's like, you don't want to go out and do anything? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna
Yeah,
sit
no.
on the couch and stay home.
I mean, we already stay home like a decent amount just because like trying to rest and all that.
Mhm.
We're at these phases in our life. So that's why I'm like, I mean, but I'm going somewhere. You have all the freedom to hang out with any of the friends you want. And he's like, if I finish what I want to watch, I'm like, okay. Which I get because there's not that I stop him from watching them, but like I won't watch certain shows with him. So like he's got to watch them on his own.
Mhm. Yeah, that's how I am too.
Yeah. So they don't get watched, I
Yep.
guess. Yeah, he's like, I really got a lot in the queue. I was like, okay, well, perfect time for me to go away. You're welcome.
That's funny.
Yeah, I know. He also doesn't game much anymore since we like live together. He used to. And then I don't know. It just kind of, I guess, stopped being a priority for him. But he got a new freaking Xbox. So he'll probably literally play FIFA for 72 hours.
I don't know. Mine plays something. I don't know what he's playing right now. Forever.
Yeah, he doesn't really do anything when I'm here. I don't know why. Cause like I don't care. I could read a book and you could do that, but whatever.
Yeah, I just go to bed.
That too.
I saw or I heard the perfect thing to describe you the other day. Somebody was talking about how, like, parrots, you just like cover their cage with a blanket and they're like, oh, it's nighttime. It's time to go to sleep now. It's
That's
dark.
me.
And then you take it off and they wake up. And I'm like, that is 100% Courtney. Like, you make
That's
it
me.
dark out and she's just like, oh, okay, it's time to go to bed.
We always joke about that because I don't really like driving at night anymore. And it's actually just because I get tired because it's dark.
Mhm.
And Dan will just start turning the lights off. And I'm like, stop doing it. You know, I'm going to fall asleep. And then all of a sudden, I'm literally asleep like 10 seconds later. And I'm like, why am I like this?
So yeah, that's why I was like, I cracked up when I heard that. I
No,
was
it's
like,
me.
she's a parrot.
I really am. I I mean, I guess it's worse things to train your body that when it's dark out, it's nighttime, go to bed. But like,
Yeah.
I'm a parrot, I guess. That really is me. You started saying that, and I was like, sounds about right. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
dark out. It's dark out. It's time for
All
sleep.
you need is just a blanket, cover you up. You're like, oh, it's time for bed. Take the blanket off. Oh, it's time to wake up.
Yeah, because sometimes the lights will still be on at night, and I'll be like, oh, who turned the sun on in here? I can't do it. Like, squinting, no sun.
Yep.
It's not. Okay. What else do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I mean, there's,
I guess I can tell you that I'm going on the retreat, which people will listen to this and I will have just finished it. So we'll eventually talk about that on the pod. I'll tell you all my takeaways and all the good stuff from it. We had Christina on recently. I don't think she talked about her retreat on here.
yeah, I was going to say, when you say the retreat, tell the people what
Yeah,
retreat.
Christina Rice's Soul Purpose Retreat.
I'm so
So it's
excited for
this
you.
weekend. I know. I'm going to San Diego. I haven't been since actually Christina's last retreat. These are the only times I've been to San Diego.
I didn't know you went to her last one.
And well, not okay, not her last one. I went to one in 2019. She did one in
Oh,
Joshua Tree last year that I really wanted to go to, but I was just traveling so much it didn't make any sense at the time. Um, but she did one in 2019 I went to in San Diego, and that one was good too. Only times I've been to San Diego, but it is one of my favorite cities because it's such a foodie city.
is it?
Such good food. And I'm not
You
used to all the good food that's like crunchy granola places. I love a crunchy granola place, obviously.
need to come to Austin. We need to hang out in Austin.
I've only been there once for Paleo FX in like 2019 too. I guess I did a lot of traveling in 2019. Um, before we could not travel. Austin was good, but I spent a lot of time indoors, so I didn't really get to go like everywhere.
Yeah, you need to come and I need to take you around Austin. Yeah.
Tacos, good food. I'm down.
hmm There's so much. Like you talk about crunchy food, granola food in Austin.
I love crunchy granola food. Like
There's so much.
anywhere with like lots of gluten-free stuff is my
hmm
jam. Also,
There's
lots of
also,
no, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say, there's a good handful of restaurants that don't use seed oil in Austin, which we
Did
also
you look
love.
up that like seed oil database thing?
Yeah, I think when Emily Morrow shared it, I mean, I
Mhm.
already knew of three or
Yeah.
four of them in Austin, but I did find some other ones.
Yeah, the funniest part is there seemed like there were so many seed oil free places in Florida and like 50% of them were out back.
Yeah, I was looking too. Is
All the
like
old people
Outback
love Outback.
or Buffalo Wild Wings, which really surprised me.
Well, so also for Outback, it's not that they don't use seed oils and it's not like seed oil free, right? But like
hmm
you can have not seed oils
Yeah,
used to fry certain things.
that's what I was like. I was like, you still would have to go in and be like very particular about
Yeah.
what you're getting. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Outback.
I don't even know if I've ever been to an Outback, to be honest with you.
There's no point. They do have a gluten-free menu.
Do they?
Um, yeah, I know that because
Nice.
one of my best friends growing up had celiac. And when possible, we played softball together and we would like go to tournaments. And if there was ever an Outback, we would always go for her because it was easier, obviously.
I
Because
guess
that
that's
was
good to
when
know.
no one did gluten-free stuff. So
hmm
this was like 2007 and it was the wild, wild west out here. So, but yeah, no, it's always just good for people to know they do have a gluten-free menu.
I don't even know if we even have an Outback anymore. We used to, but I couldn't tell you if we still do. So
I mean, I couldn't tell you last time I went to an Outback.
I
When
don't
have we
think I
gone to
ever have.
Outback? I'm not going to Outback.
We go to our local like farm to table food truck. That's where we go.
Oh, that sounds good.
He's so good.
Yeah, we always go to the same place for our dates too. The other day I was like, maybe we should come for because we always go for brunch because I'm just a grandma and I'd rather go for brunch than I would for dinner. But
hmm
the dinner, they have like duck on the menu and like steak frites and stuff. So I'm like, I really should just go for
That
dinner.
sounds
I'm
good.
I'm a big duck gal.
When it's done right, it's delicious.
Yes. I love ducks so much. I also, it's partially, my sister was allergic to literally everything growing up. And apparently, one of the things she could eat was duck. So we'd have duck like once a month, which later on I obviously learned is like one of the bougiest foods. I don't know why we ate duck all the time, but loved a good duck. Still love a good duck.
hmm Yeah.
I know it was like, why did you give children duck?
They were probably trying to just break up their monotony.
No, that's 100% what it was because she couldn't eat like any fish. None of us liked pork. So it was literally beef or chicken, beef or chicken, beef or
hmm
chicken,
Yeah.
duck.
Yep.
So I understand she just couldn't eat any of the fish and any of the soy and any of the nuts. So it really made things a little tricky.
That would be tough.
Yeah. It's fine now. She's alive.
That's good.
She made it to 30.
That's good. All right.
Okay. I guess this is a mini-sode, so
Yeah, I think we hit about 30 minutes.
that's
So,
fine. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening to Numerology. I hope you learned something. And now tell me your life path number.
yeah, message me with your life path number, or if you just want me to help you figure it out, I'll be happy to do that. I'm
Are we both sevens?
super
Tell me. Do you
into.
also not want people to know anything about you?
Do you also love your home space and have the tendency to overthink everything? If
That
so,
literally was
let's
why I
be
was like, this is Dan. Yeah.
yeah, if so, let's be friends.
The way they described his brain and his brain mapping was the little engine that could. Like it's really tired, but it keeps going. And he's like, sounds right. So I'm like, yeah, no, that was him.
Yeah, it's also interesting to do like your attitude numbers and compare.
Yeah.
And so I would be interested to see like what his attitude number is.
I also want to like look into like what my year is, what if I can figure that out.
Yeah, I don't, I mean, I know there's a way, but I don't
Mhm.
remember how, like what you do. Um,
I'm gonna let you know.
okay. What was your
Mm.
attitude? Your attitude is a one, right? That's what you said.
My
Because
yeah,
it's
one was a one. Yeah, my attitude was a one. My eight was personality.
yeah, so I'm just gonna read your attitude really quick.
Okay.
So the
And then we
one
can let you go.
attitude is someone who doesn't like to ask for help. They're completely self-motivated. They usually have issues with their self-esteem. She's laughing over here.
They're calling me out.
They just don't think they're good enough. That's why they need praise from others. If you believe in them, then there's nothing they can't achieve. If you don't, they rebel.
Oh my God, they hate me. I feel so called out. Um, I can't disagree though. At least like I can disagree with like the Leo stuff because okay, so this was just another thing why I don't like when because all the stuff when you look about what a Leo is, it seems like so negative. They're like, you're loud and annoying and a leader, but you know, you have to be the center of attention. And I'm like, excuse me, why is this so rude? So that's part of why I don't resonate with that. But
Yeah.
I feel called out. So now you guys know more about me than most of my friends.
Yeah, you can learn a ton about people when you know their life path numbers, their attitude numbers, and then you start thinking about it and you're like, that makes sense, like why they are the way that they are. But it just helps, really does help you understand people better, I feel like.
I'm not going to disagree. Well,
But
okay.
yeah, you
Now you know a
definitely
lot
need
about
to
me.
read the whole chapter on
Yeah,
your
no, I definitely
life
didn't know
path.
more than like a 4 second blurb. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna get a book. I don't know what book, or just like read on the internet. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I would 100% recommend that book. It's so worth it. I'm sure it's probably on the discount bookstore, half price books.
Oh, okay. We'll look into it. Yeah, I always send you to Book Outlet because it's worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I go a little
Okay,
too crazy there sometimes.
same.
All right. If you like this episode, please give us a rating, subscribe. It helps us in the algorithm, helps other people find us. Um, yeah, where can they find you?
At the Rooted in Health. Yeah, hit me up. Clearly, we have so much to talk about because you guys are gonna know so much about me. What about you?
You can find me at Emily Joy Wellness pretty much everywhere.
Same. Not Emily Joy Wellness, but everywhere.